Welcome to Hip Hop Gems TV. Sitting here with yet another gem. Someone who I've been tapping into, entrepreneur, artist, and just all around dope individual. Energy's been amazing since you got here, I want to say. Sitting here with Kueen.
Thank you. Hello, world. How y'all doing out there?
Peace, Queen.
Thank
How are
you for
you?
having me.
Nah,
I'm
man.
great.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. This whole energy has been just like I said. I don't really come out the house that much. So when I do, and the energy's great, it's like okay, I'm glad I stepped out today. It's worth my time.
That's fire. Yeah. Why is that? Why is that you don't step out like that?
Well, I probably would say COVID kind of just has me more like since COVID. I noticed I've been more introverted than before. And I'm kind of like A said earlier, like I'm kind of like I put my stuff out and then I'm like a ninja, like I'm out. Like I just like to reserve my energy for myself so that when I step out, it's right. So yeah.
How do you juggle that though with being an artist? Because now there's this whole thing of like people want to see you,
Right.
People want to know who you are, and then like you being this introvert person. How do you juggle that?
Well, like if you really know me, I'm really not as much introverted as I sometimes come off. I like to read the room. I like to feel the energy first, and then it's like, okay, I can kick my shoes off. I can get comfortable. So I think as an artist, it definitely takes balance because my first time moving to New York, I was everywhere on the trains performing at every show. And I didn't have any energy for myself at the end of the day. So I had to learn how to save some for me because, like, this is, like, my vessel. This is my body. So it's, like, I can't give but so much if I'm not putting that back into myself.
Fire. Your last project was based upon performing on the train. Yeah. That dropped. I want to say that dropped, like, third, fourth quarter of last year.
October, yeah.
One of my favorite projects, I would say, of the year. That year for 2023.
Thank you.
How did that come about, man? As far as you wanting to, the concept, I want to say, it was about you being on the train. It was about, you gave us so many different pillars of like, I guess just like your time in New York, right? What would you say the inspiration was behind the project?
Well, it really was just that. It was my experiences. It was just my story of how I ended up in New York, started in Jersey, stayed in New York with some family. Prior to that, I lived in St. Croix, Virgin Islands, for about 7 months.
Oh, wow.
So I jumped around for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, it's either I go up or I go back down south. And I just, in my mind, I'm like, if I really want to push what I'm doing and be serious about my music, I'm going to just go to New York. So I moved to New York, had a couple restaurant jobs, started busking on the train. I seen people, like, in my commute going to work, like the guys playing on the buckets, young kids playing on the buckets, or, you know, the dancers. And I'm like, man, I could do this. Like, it's what's holding me back. So I went to B&H, got a speaker, got a USB, and I stayed on, like, 42nd Street, and I just started ripping off freestyles, just stuff I had written, stuff that was in the cut, and people responded well to it. And from there, it grew from that to, like, 59th, 125th, A-Train, and on that stop is, like, 5 minutes. So I could really put on a show, like, give them my information, collect, you know, any donations, and it was beautiful. Met so many amazing people, a lot of ups and downs, and that, you know, that time period I was still trying to figure out who I was and crafting my art and learning that everybody wasn't for me, you know, so trying to find my space in this world.
That's amazing. A lot of people won't even a lot of New Yorkers they won't even perform on no damn train.
Yeah,
So
I've definitely heard New Yorkers be like, man, I don't even got the guts to do this.
Like that's incredible to decide that you just, you know, to say like, yo, I'm gonna just go ahead and risk it all and do that, you know.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to be honest, like coming from the South and then like coming from St. Croix and then coming to New York, where it's like you say morning, afternoon, everybody, like every day, all day long, good night, and then come here and it's like more closed off. It's like ice. It's cold. So when you get on the train and to see people's energy shift, and they be getting ready to move, like, man, I don't want to hear this shit today. Like, go to the other side of the train, and then by the time it's over, they're clapping. They talking to the people beside, like, yo, that was dope. So you get to see people come alive underground. Absolutely. I kind of felt like Harriet Tubman, low key, like we leading the people. Like, look at them over here. Like, let my people go. Like, on some Moses, but not.
Queen on the freedom train.
You feel me? Like, it felt good, man. It felt good.
That's amazing, though. And New Yorkers, we like that. You know, everything is just like stone face. We need to
Yeah.
get from point A to point B.
Got somewhere to
You
go.
know. And when I go visit the South, it's like to me that's odd. Like when I hear "Good morning, sir," and
Like,
good
how you doing, baby?
afternoon, yeah, how you
Right.
doing? I'm like, like what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the transition between both of those is wild. Coming from the South and you coming up here, I gotta ask you about like your early influences.
Yeah.
And two-part question: um, did you feel that your career needed? Did you need to come here, so to speak? Do you think your career wouldn't have been as impactful down south?
That's a good question. I would say it was necessary for me to develop myself and get uncomfortable because when you grow up in a certain place, you're comfortable. Your family there, your friends there, the teachers that taught you in high school, you run into them at the grocery store. So like, everybody, everybody knows you. But in order to like really get uncomfortable, sometimes you have to step out of what feels normal, what you're used to, and apply pressure to yourself and be like, all right, I'm gonna test and see what I can do. The worst that can happen is they say no or I fail. But even in that space, you still get up and you keep going. You try.
Right. That's amazing. Some people don't like again about taking that chance and saying like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna step outside my comfortability.
Yeah.
We never know what's on the other side of that wall, or the other side of the work, as Ace said earlier. That's a testament to like who we are. I think a lot of us kind of still are trying to figure that thing out, like who we are and like what we mean in these spaces.
It takes time though, cause I'm in my 30s. I'm in my mid 30s, and like at 20, I would not be sitting here with you. I wouldn't be having these conversations. My circle of people totally different. My mindset, what I was focused on, totally different. So I think with anything, like even making wine, it takes time for it to turn into what it is. And,
Right.
like you have to mash those grapes to
Right.
get wine. So in order to like get where you gotta go, you just have to grow through the process.
Right. And I can actually second that because I know in my 20s I definitely probably wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah, surely.
How did you come up with the name Queen?
So it kind of like it transformed. It transformed. I changed my artist name several times. At one point, I was going by Marley D, which is a play off Bob Marley. Love Bob Marley. At one point, it was Danny Klein, which was just a name that I was really just trying to find who I was. But my Instagram name was The Lion Queen. So when I would hit the trains and stuff, I started out just doing spoken word before I got the speaker. I was just doing the spoken word, and I would give them my tag. Like, you can find me, The Lion Queen, like Broadway, but underground. And it caught. Like, people would see me like, oh, you Lion Queen, right? And I'd be like, yeah. Because,
wow.
we ain't passing this, it's fast. So I'm like, yeah, that's me. So eventually I just started to think about it. Like, that movie, Lion King, even though it's a Disney movie, it's so many gems in that. Because Simba had to leave home, figure out, what I'm saying? He had his good times out there with his friends. But when shit got real, like his people came to look for him like, hey, we need you. Shit is going left back home. Like,
Right.
we need you to come back and claim your throne and be who you are. So that kind of just it felt more real to me, like Lion Queen. Who am I? Who am I trying to be? I'm still figuring it out. And being in New York, it really put the pressure on me to figure out who it was that I wanted to be, or I was supposed to be. And then as I got older, I'm like, you know what? Lions don't walk around saying I'm a lion. You just feel the presence. You just know when they roar, the ground shakes. So now I just go by Queen because I feel like it's a masculine and feminine balance, and it definitely represents me.
So fire. So fire. The breakdown was so amazing.
Yeah, I try.
You was spoken word something that you was doing first before rapping? Because a lot of your style definitely takes me there.
I wrote a little bit after high school, but I used to freestyle a lot, like
Okay.
cutting jokes in class. Somebody would beatbox on the table, and I'm just rapping off the top. So I actually started freestyling, like literally off the top, cookouts, back home, get a little drink, a little gin and juice in my system, and I'm feeling good. And I just go off top. And my friends be like, yo, you nice, man. Like, stop playing. Like, you need to, take this seriously. And after years of kind of like playing with my own talent, I just was like, nah, I should really tap into
Should go
this.
after it.
But I do feel like that poetry and spoken word is the foundation to hip hop. So It always comes back to that.
I second that. Yeah, it always comes back to that. You know, you're an entrepreneur. You got your. I gotta get into this.
Essentials.
You got your essentials line here.
Right.
How did you come up with this name?
God really been using me in the last few years. Let me just start with that because wellness is something as Black people and people in general, when it comes to the hustle and the grind, we don't take it as serious because we got to get the bag. We got to hustle. We got to this. We got to that. And as much as that's important, one of our biggest bags is taking care of us. So when COVID hit and it wasn't as easy to get the bag, I started drinking hella tea. I started learning about herbs. I started doing my research, reading up more on Dr. Sebi and sea moss and the things that were healthy for the body. Because coming up in the South, like most of the times, my grandfather was a farmer. He had 11 kids, and they didn't even. My mom used to tell me like couldn't even afford to eat meat every day. It was really just on Sundays. So technically, they were like not really all the way eating meat. But they lived longer. They were healthier. We're healthier when we eat better. So I just figured I would start with body butters, teas, stuff that I do for myself to make me feel better. And there was a time where my mental health was not in the best space. So the little things like self-care and catering to me and sitting down with a cup of tea and a spliff, like it made me feel better. You know, it was good for me. So I just wanted to share that with the world, and I felt like it was essential. So that's why you got Raphium Essentials.
The story behind that is amazing. I'm glad, again, crawling out of a dark space like that and during COVID, you get a chance to learn more about yourself. I kind of feel like a lot of creatives got a chance. I mean, COVID birthed new creatives, but it also gave people that chance to like get to know themselves differently, or get to become one with a side that was always in them that they didn't, know. You understand?
It made us sit down.
It made us be still,
Right.
you know what I mean? And like really get a chance to be like, all right, yo, what's going on here? You know, this show was developed during COVID. I actually
Talk about that.
yeah, I actually came up with the idea of that. So I was toying around with an idea for a minute. And for me personally, like I knew if I was the guy at the time who I was talking to about doing the show with, he was just like, yo, you should do this, you should do that. But a lot of it was sounding like what we usually see. And it just didn't sit right with me. I wanted to do something for a lot of the artists that I listen to. So they birthed this amazing show.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful show. I ran across your platform through Kaz.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he produced.
That's my guy.
He's fire,
He's
bro.
so
Shout
fire.
out to Kaz, man.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, he did a couple songs on Sicker Than COVID. He did On God and he did Sicker Than COVID. So
you know what's crazy? I was hoping that y'all had done either was gonna do something or done things in the past. I kind of feel like his vibe definitely fits with what you got going on.
Yeah. He was working with an artist named probably still Pat Rizzle.
Yes.
And Pat is nice.
Yes,
Pat is nice. Pat, she took a little break from social media, but I'm about to big you up right here.
You know it too, don't you?
Facts. No, Pat is family, yo. Pat really is a good person, like in general. I reached out to her and was like, yo, I'm hungry for beats. Recommend somebody. She was like, boom, and sent me a list. Kaz was one of them. Kaz connected, and he sent me some stuff, and it was just like, when I listened to it, it was just like, yeah, this is what I need.
Shout out to my nigga Kaz. He was on the first season of the show, and I would have never guessed my guy was a preacher kid. So that was he actually shared that on the show. So that was really dope.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah, he really is, man. What would you say the message in your music is?
Well, my first album actually is called The Message. It's turning your mess into a message and just being a light, you know what I'm saying? And like we sometimes let the world kind of dictate to what we show people or what we expose, just like we were talking about earlier about vulnerability. But my favorite artists, you asked about my inspirations too. My favorite artists, Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige. I grew up on a lot of R&B. My sister was like graduating 93 around that era. So James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross, like these coming up from the South, these are people I heard heavy in the house, Marvin Gaye. And what we felt about it the most was the feeling behind it. So like Marvin Gaye, what's going on, and like the feeling behind it. It's like, yo, this is the stuff that it hits you. Like you feel it. It's not just, oh, I like the beat. Oh, it makes me hype when I go to the club. I'm like, nah, this is something you can sit with. It's gonna make you feel something. So yeah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said names that a lot of people would like discover down the line.
Yeah.
But even as you being a youngin', you was already tapped into those people and sat and got a chance to live with it.
Yeah.
You know, that's so fire. What's this year looking like for you, man, musically?
Man,
And along with the line, will we see these in stores?
So-
2-part question.
So actually, shout out to Brooklyn, because there's actually a store in Brooklyn, a beauty shop that has some of my old. They have the last drop we did. They don't
Okay.
have this stuff yet because I haven't pushed it yet.
Okay.
I brought these because these are the prototypes, but I wanted you to have one. So
Oh, definitely. Okay.
yeah, we have a couple shops that I've been chatting with, and they said they would definitely like for me to bring the products by, and so it's, yeah, we're gonna have it in the shop. Definitely. I have a website now, Raphium.com, where Raphium is an acronym, Rise Above Free Your Mind. So
What?
yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to it. yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be in the shop. We got apparel. We got Raphium apparel. We got some shirts dropping. I did a single called Tough Stains with Doc Jr. And that's just basically talking about how I grew up listening to certain things, what this culture, what this generation is hearing, and like 106 in Park and the Parkers, and it just taps into a lot. Basically, just saying like we were built tough, and there's a lot of stains that we still trying to get out as black people. So
Absolutely. The rise of females in hip hop is the conversation is like it can go either way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that not only are you in tune with yourself and you're in tune with, what you're becoming more in tune with yourself, you're in tune with what's going on. But as an artist, as a black woman in this world, I salute you.
Thank you.
As an artist who's out here pushing it out and doing it your way.
Yeah.
I want to let you know that I salute you.
Thank
and
you.
You got a big fan over here,
I
Kueen.
appreciate that.
No doubt.
I appreciate that a lot. I feel like it's my role to add value
Absolutely.
to the culture, to music, to wellness, to having conversations about mental health. Like it's important to touch on all of those aspects, and it's possible. Like it's a lane for everybody, but I found what fits me. So
Will you give us a gem before you get out of here?
a gem. The day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit.
That's Kueen, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all go support everything she's doing, from the essential line to the music to just being a dope individual. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, man.
No, absolutely, man. This is for y'all. This show is for y'all. This show is for the people and individuals who want to hear some dope shit. So
Hey, that's what we here for, man.
absolutely,
what
Kueen.
we're
Thank
for.
you.
Thank you.
HHGTV, man. Yet another gem. We up out of here, man.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you, Kueen.
What you watching? Hip Hop Gens TV?